Making my way through the darkness, a million eyes on me. I don't care, I don't care. Making my way through the spilling, sticking it out just to see. I don't care, I don't care. The moment's come now, so take it. To fight for what I believe, 'cause I can, yeah I can.
Last time on Road to Arlathan. Upon learning of the discovery that a new fade rift had been opened, the Inquisitor and her advisors sent the party deep into the Frostback Mountains with two missions: retrieve the champion of Kirkwall from the Fade and close the rift. Accepting the challenge, they made way for the rift and, with the key gifted to Nick by the Elven goddess Solas, entered the Fade. However, the party was unprepared for the trials of the Fade, and each one of them succumbed to the might of a fear demon. But this was not the end for our heroes, as they found themselves rescued by the elven god Valentin and Ashar's long-lost childhood friend Ashan. The god shared information with the party that had been withheld from them by the other gods regarding their quest and the true history of Thetis. However, it was also revealed by him that there was a traitor amongst them, that Diani was in league with the Dreadwolf. These revelations caused a rift between Lila and the elves of the party. Valentin got through to every member of the party, sharing some forgotten knowledge of their own personal histories and even choosing Lila to be his champion alongside Bronwyn. After speaking with him, however, Bronwyn did what she believed needed to be done and went off in search of an entrance to the Black City. This feat was easier than she had expected it to be. The city once hovered on the horizon, always out of reach, but with a thunderous sound, it began its descent towards the ground. When the others realized that the warden was no longer with them, they rushed after her, heading for the city. Making their way through the deserted streets, they came to the castle that rose from the city's center, finding its gate ajar. Ashara and Asira opted to stay behind at the castle's door with Valentin and Ashan, but were soon persuaded otherwise upon learning that the elven god had encouraged Bronwyn to come here on her own. The doors slamming shut behind them and locking them inside, the party moved forward, finally finding the young warden in a room containing 6 magical barriers. Behind one was the fabled Andraste herself. Cat is doing things. Behind one was the fabled Andraste herself, her memory fractured pieces of what it once was, and Diani released her from her magical prison. However, before she could release the others imprisoned here, Hawk, the champion of Kirkwall, descended from the stairs above with a shout of warning, but Bronwyn could sense the source of the blight beckoning her from above. After some arguing, Hawk stepped in to keep the others back while the warden did what she needed to do. Bronwyn stepped up to the decrepit throne room, green light emanating from the orb that hovered at its center. Reaching out, she touched it, only for it to fall and shatter against the stone floor as her arm disintegrated into a pile of ash. The moment the orb was broken, however, the other magical barriers were dissipated, releasing the others trapped inside. Alongside Andraste, these beings were transformed into grotesque, dark spawn-like creatures that took no time in attacking the party. In the heat of battle, Lila was whisked away by a banishment spell, appearing in Skyhold's war room before Inquisitor Llewellyn and her advisors. She shared a moment with Commander Cullen, who was looking worse for wear, before the spell was broken and she popped back into the Fade. Defeating Andraste's warriors, the party fled from battle as she caused the castle to begin to collapse around them while she transformed, her limbs lengthening as she grew larger and sharper. The party grabbed onto Ashan and Valentin as they made a mad dash for the city gates, Andraste close on their tails. However, their escape was thwarted as the city had begun to return to its place in the sky. Valentin created a portal, unsure if it would allow them to return home or if he would fail them as he had with Ashan. He threw up a barrier to keep Andraste back, hoping to give them a chance to escape. When the others were through, Bronwyn stayed behind, begging for the man to join them, but he refused. His place was in the Fade, and this was the only chance they would get to escape. She finally disappeared through the portal and stepped out to find the others in the exact place the rift had been at the beginning of all of this. That was very long.
So good,
The hell
though.
of a story we're telling.
Yeah. So that was the whole recap of the arc. Yay. So where we had left off, you guys had Diani send a message to the Inquisitor. And you do get a response back. It says, glad to hear you're safe and that Lila is still with you, sending horses. Simple as that. So the first thing I want to do is the thing with Bronwyn. Tell me what you.
Okay.
Secrets.
So when she wakes up in the morning, she can like tell it's later in the morning, both by the fact that it's like bright outside and also by the fact that she is alone in the tent, and everyone else has gotten up for the day. And so she like, as she starts waking up, she just like, her mind is flashing the day prior and everything that happened with Valentin and her arm. And she sits up and she kind of listens to hear if there's anyone nearby the tent, or if she is pretty much alone.
As far as you can tell, you're alone. Like there's a few distant voices, but you can't really tell who it is.
So she is going to take the arm that she still has and kind of ruffle through her bag until she can find the mirror that she still has from when she was looking around in the Fade. And before looking at it, she kind of just like holds it to her chest and closes her eyes and just imagines Valentin, like kind of willing it to show her what she wants to see. And she is like hoping, because he has some sort of connection to this, that he'll be able to like see her too. And so she just kind of whispers, she's like, Valentin, please. And then she looks into the mirror.
When she looks into the mirror, at first she sees her own reflection. But after a moment, there's this, the shadows around you kind of begin to swirl before a green light comes through. And you see the back of Valentin's head. Just the red hair, just turning away from you, not really paying attention to anything around him.
Is he, I mean, like he's up and he's not dead.
He's not dead.
That Valentin, she's gonna just kind of talk to him.
He's kind of like, who's that? Who's there?
Can you hear me?
And then he turns and faces you and he's like, Bronwyn!
And she like, there's like just this weight on her chest and she's like, you're alive.
Yes.
What happened? What, I mean, the portal worked and we all were back, but what happened to you?
Well, the portal worked.
It worked. We came right back out where we entered the Fade.
I don't know what I did differently this time, but Deshaun's finally going home.
I mean, I don't know what his plans are exactly, but he's here with us, and I mean, the Inquisition is sending people.
Good. That's good. He like wipes at his eyes. Glad he gets to go home.
What about you? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. That thing I held her off for a bit, and then I just jumped right off the side.
And she stayed? She stayed in the...
As far as I know, I did some more barriers around the whole thing, hoping that would help keep it contained.
And she kind of like nods, like processing, not because she doesn't exactly understand all of the magic-y stuff. So what happens now?
I don't know. What happens now? You would probably go home, I think, go back to that thing that holds the sky.
Skyhold?
Sure.
I mean, I guess. I mean, well, I mean, Hawk is here, so we can talk to him. But I mean, do you know? I mean, what do you want us to do?
Stay alive. I mean, I don't have much of a role in this.
Diani is, or Sebastian is joining us.
Yes.
All right, so he says, "Stay alive," and she just kind of raises an eyebrow. You don't have any like further instruction on the whole mission thing?
No. I mean, I could probably show you where the others are, but I mean, I don't know if they want to be found. I don't know. What do you want to know?
Well,
I mean,
the others meaning the other gods?
yeah.
Okay. I mean, any information you can give me.
I mean, I know Andrew's off hunting something. Not sure what, but she's a huntress. What do you expect? In June, he's I think he's up in the free marches somewhere.
Bronwyn, who doesn't know who these people are, just like none. Nodding along. And I mean, is there anything you want me to do?
Yes. He like kind of like reaches into his pocket, but it's like where he's like spinning around like a dog chasing his tail, trying to reach into his pocket. And then he's just like, forget. Don't die. Get your arm fixed. Stop being emotionally constipated. And find your dad.
She is just like, her face is like beet red. Just like, first of all, I'm not emotionally constipated. Second, how do I fix it?
You open yourself up to your emotions.
No, my arm.
How you feel.
My arm.
I don't know. I'm not.
Can you magic
I
it?
can't. I can't. Maybe someone else can. I'm too far away from you for that.
Okay. I mean, I guess I'll talk to you later then.
TTFN, my friend.
Will you let me know if you get any more information?
I can try. I mean, you don't dream unless it's about Darkspawn, so.
No, but I can check in like this.
If you check in on me, then yeah.
Okay. I'll call you next week. Bye, Dad.
You better. Otherwise, I will not be happy with you.
I'll be very disappointed.
very disappointed in you.
I love him so much.
Yeah. She goes, okay, love you, bye.
And you just see his face like
Just,
light
like,
up.
slams
before
it down.
It goes black. Okay.
The Elvhen
So
god.
now that that's done.
And then she wants to go do the other thing that we talked about.
I don't remember what the other thing was. Oh, the other thing.
Yeah.
She goes and does that, and then we come back and rejoin the group,
Okay.
right?
Cool.
Yes. So you go off and do the other thing.
The other thing.
So while Bronwyn's doing the other thing, what are y'all doing? Just around the campfire? What are you doing?
I mean, Ashara was talking to Lila. It was still early morning, so I suppose they could be wrapping up that talk where she apologized, not so much for insulting the maker, but for being a bitch about it to Lila.
All right, so let's go past that, and we will have everyone, I guess, joining for breakfast. And you see that both Ashara and Diani are barefaced, no Valaslain.
Oh
and
God.
yes.
So I love how I put it in the chat that like, oh, Lila won't be sus because the Inquisitor did that, but now you both did it the same night. Ah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she's gonna have a distinct reaction when she sees Diani also having it off and be a little sus. Yeah, and we said we had talked about this, but then you didn't. I guess we could do it now, but she's gonna approach Diani because she wants to know what's happening.
Ashara is going to just kind of look at Diani and give her like a sad smile and nod. Like, I see you.
Just the like very quiet acknowledgement of, yeah, okay, we both did this.
Yeah.
Same night.
Solas is busy, we get it.
So she's just gonna kind of try to, as casually as she can manage, approach and kind of just gesture to her face and be like, so I see you talk to Solas as well.
Diani has definitely been crying, like most of the morning. So she
Is it obvious?
yeah, I feel like it's probably really obvious at this point. She's also missing part of her hair. So her hair
You're
is
lost, buddies.
braided back
Should
clumsily.
clarify that Clay probably chopped off the rest of it
Yeah.
after
so
their talk. Yeah.
she's got it back in like one braid. And yeah, she is completely barefaced and also like puffy eyed and just kind of blinks at Lila like it doesn't quite connect with what she means at first. And then she's like, I couldn't keep him with what was told to us.
What did he have any explanations for the things that we've learned now?
No.
No. Does he ever?
We didn't
No,
do it yet,
Callie and I
so-
didn't finish our conversation, so I'm gonna
We'll
give
get
it now. As much as he usually does. I suppose.
Would Bronwyn be? Would
She only
Bronwyn
barks
be?
when she's playing. It's so cute.
She's adorable. Would Bronwyn be rejoining the group with Ishan?
Probably. We could say that.
All right. She's coming back.
So yeah, at this point, Bronwyn and Ashan walk up to camp, and Ashan's got this like big shitty grin on his face.
Why? Ashara just looking at him like,
And then he sees you and he freezes.
And Bronwyn probably does the same.
This he says in Dalish. What happened to your Ballasline?
And in Dalish, she'll respond, until the gods are worthy of my respect, I won't wear their mark.
I think
He
Bronwyn
just kind of-
understood what Ishan said, but not what Ashara responded. And she's gonna lean over to Ishan and be like, what did she say?
just like, don't worry about it. And he responds in Dalish, hope you know what you're doing.
And she's just gonna continue in Dalish. I hope so too. And then in Dalish, she's gonna go, what were you two doing?
And then he just looks at Bronwyn and goes, look.
And Bronwyn turns and shows her arm shyly, and on it is almost exactly a Falandine Ballasline that has been curated to be an arm piece instead of a facial piece.
In Dalish, she's going to say to Ishan, at least he's worthy of respect in my eyes.
And then
She's
again,
gonna look at Bronwyn and be like, I like it.
and she just blushes. She's still like, basically half of her head is covered in this giant bandage still. And then she'll go sit next to Diani. And she's not going to say anything about the Valslane, but she'll like hold her hand and just like squeeze it. I should clarify, she's sitting on her left, so she has a hand to hold.
Yeah, she will gladly take Bronwyn's hand, but she is very like studiously keeping her eyes down and like not looking at Bronwyn because she's still a little upset about everything that happened.
Oh, so is Bronwyn.
And they didn't get a chance to talk. So
she is, I mean, like, she really hasn't talked to anyone since they came out of the Fade. But like also wants to make it clear that she like supports Diani's choice to remove her Vallasline. So like, even if she doesn't fully understand the cultural impact of it.
Once everyone is kind of gathered, Diani will offer to cast that spell if everyone is ready. And we're good with.
Is this the message spell?
Yeah.
Cool. I kind of told them what the response was, but we can RP it.
It wasn't
mean,
cast the
it's
day
fine.
prior.
No, I didn't have any spells left. So it would have been cast this morning.
Okay, remind me what the message was. Do you have it somewhere other than the gen chat?
No, I'm scrolling. I remember the like the basis of it, but where is it? Why do we talk so much?
I just tagged it. I just tagged it at the bottom, so you should be able to jump.
Oh, thank you. Everyone's alive, out of Fade, near Rift. Hawk is here, need horses, please help. Tell Cullen Lila's alive. Ashara asks how is clan. And it goes to the Inquisitor.
And within a few seconds, you have a response. It just says, glad to hear you're safe and that Lila's with you. Sending horses, clan is fine.
She will relay that to everyone, especially Ashara.
You can see the visible relief at the clan is fine.
And then she'll go retreat again.
Lila's gonna. I'm assuming Ashawn is with Ashara right now.
sitting next to her at this point.
Well, I was gonna turn to the two of them and say, I'm sure that well, I guess to Sean, I'm sure that you're wanting to get back to your family. When the horses arrive, are you going to come with us to Skyhold, or are you planning to head on your own way?
Well, I'm not really sure exactly where I am right now, so I'll just stick with you guys for a bit.
It's a good idea.
He nudges you with his elbow.
She nudges him back.
He nudges harder.
Is Hawk with us?
He's been kind of off on his own, but still, like, you can see him. He's just kind of off on his own, reflecting on the fact that he's been gone for almost 3 years.
I'd like to take this time to say that Clay has noticed that Bronwyn has a new tattoo and is very interested.
Is he just looking, or
That's how far we've gone. He's processing. He's just thinking about it. He's not gonna do anything about it. He's just thinking about it.
Anyone want to do anything else?
No, that's it. That's session.
I think I need to establish that now I'm having to like act because I am like vibrating with the realization that it's a serious possibility that Cullen is coming with, but Lila would not have thought of that. And so if no one says anything,
I mean,
she's like, okay, we'll get horses and then we'll have to ride all the way back.
kind of call Hawk over
Yeah.
just to get him to, one, eat something, but two, check in to see how he's doing. It's like Ashara will just kind of be like, Hawk, food?
He he glances back at you all and then just kind of sighs, like, visibly, and then starts like slowly walking over. And he just plops on the ground.
Ashara will fix him a plate of food and just be like, the Inquisitor's sending horses.
He just nods and starts eating with his hands.
This poor man.
Is there another way?
He does look up and kind of glance around at all of you, and he's like, "So, who are you all exactly?"
Oh yeah, we didn't.
You are vaguely recognized. He points at Lila.
We didn't
Vaguely.
have time for introduction.
We met at Skyhold.
I can see your Inquisition thing.
Yes.
Same with you, and he points at Ashara, but I don't know you.
You wouldn't. I was a scout.
I see. So who are the rest of you?
I point to Diani and I just say, that's my sister.
She is very aggressively not looking at Hawk because the last interaction she had with Hawk was controlling him. So
And he's just like staring at you, not quite glaring.
I'll point at Bronwyn and be like, it's my sister's girlfriend. And then I point at Clay and I go, and that's my sister's boyfriend.
No, did you first point out who your sister is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
I introduced, oh, and I'll be like, Bronwyn, Clay.
But what's the other one's name?
This is Sean. He's a really good childhood friend. He was trapped in the Fade and we rescued him when we rescued you.
He just kind of looks at Sean. You the one that scavenged my nightmare demon? And Sean's just like, yeah. And Hawk goes, right. And he goes back to eating.
Clay's like, I'm also from Kirkwall. obviously
you.
you wouldn't have known me, but
Let me ask
obviously,
you, Champion of Kirkwall, to sign your copy of whatever the book is that Varric wrote.
I mean, I
I
didn't
think it is
have.
called Champion of Kirkwall, isn't it?
I
Oh, I
mean,
never, no, I never read it.
I didn't have like a copy of it. I mean, I knew of you, of course, because everybody talked about how amazing you were. But no, I
Not you. No, not
Huh?
you.
no, of
You
course not.
never spoke about how amazing I am, right?
I I was actually part of the I was a Templar recruit at one point, so I was busy.
Then you, my friend, can go fuck yourself. It goes back to eating.
I mean, I did run away eventually, so
I'm sorry. I was ready for you to say, well, I mean, I did go fuck myself.
I did go fuck myself, actually. I did. The Templars, I did go fuck myself. The Templars were not a fan of that, so they kind of like weren't allowing me back in after that. So,
And Hawk just like slightly turns so that you're like, he's not looking at you and you're like in his peripheral and still eating.
Bronwyn might be smiling for the first time since they came out of the beta.
Well, Hawk, it's not as if you have to report in. Where are you planning to go?
Well, I mean, I should probably report to the Inquisitor just to see what happened to everyone, yeah? See what I missed. Show if she's in the know.
Is Clay with Diani and Bronwyn?
He's just
Um,
on Bronwyn's other side, staring at her arm.
he's just thinking about it. Listen.
I think that Diani would lean over and be like, you should probably tell him about Kirkwall.
You should probably tell him about Kirkwall. The plague.
Oh shit. Yeah. They started digging mass graves. Because there's a plague. It spreads through your respiratory system apparently. It's only affecting humans at this point. So if you choose to go to Kirkwall, wear a mask, social distance, wash your hands.
And Hawk just kind of like stops eating, looks up at you, goes back to eating.
Bronwyn like just blurts out, Bethany's not in Kirkwall. So
Stops eating, looks up at you.
she's probably fine.
Right, you're a warden. I'm sure you know many wardens, don't you?
Nah, not really.
Yet you know my sister.
Just specifically that.
Yeah, we lived together for a couple years. We were my friend was the calling, from Corypheus. So we were hiding with Aveline.
But she's all right. She made it through all that, right?
Yeah. She was good the last time I saw her.
When was that?
I don't know, almost a year maybe.
Good. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad she's all right. What were you saying about Cockwall?
It's got a plague. We think it's from Solas. It's not affecting elves or.
Solas, you mean the broody bulls hobo elf?
Well, he's a little bit
Well,
more
then-
than a brooding. What did you call him? A brooding
Bald elf.
bald? Yeah,
Hobo
hobo
elf?
elf. Yeah, he's a little bit more than a brooding bald hobo elf. Apparently, he's also Fen'Harel, which is one of the Elven deities. So,
Right.
so he created a
Of
plague.
course, everyone these days is a god.
Was
He
Hawk,
reaches into his
I
his
mean,
belt and pulls out a wineskin and just downs it.
was Hawk close to Meryl in this universe?
We'll say yes.
He would know the legend of Fen'Harel then.
Yeah.
Meryl tells him.
so
He downs his wineskin, puts it back down. He's like, I'm saving this.
you can
For a
get more
special
in
occasion.
Skyhold, probably. But yeah, so last I heard, a good portion of the humans had it, obviously, and I do believe that Varric had it as well.
Varric had,
The plague. Am I correct in saying that Varric did have it?
yes.
Yes. Okay.
But we checked on, I asked Valentin when we were there if he was still alive. And he said he was.
And you honestly believe one of these elven gods.
Valentin, I believe him. I think he
Not as
says
deep as the
he
other.
only shares what he feels like sharing, but I believe what he says generally.
Generally, yes.
He's been the most honest out of them all thus far.
Honestly, I don't trust anyone anymore.
Given what I know of your history, Hawk, I think that's fairly valid.
Yes, because everyone knows my history.
Don't blame me for reading the book. Blame Varric for writing it.
You shouldn't have published it, that's for sure.
Under her breath, Bronwyn is like, the book is just an exaggeration.
It is.
I mean, it's Varric. Of course, it's somewhat an exaggeration.
Sister
Yeah.
her.
You said this horse is coming? Do we know when?
Couple days, maybe.
Yeah.
Lovely.
How many days did it take us? Like 5?
3, I thought.
Yeah, but
Three.
we would have stopped at night and like gone not at full speed, so it'll take them less time to get there.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Hopefully, like 2 at the most.
Yeah.
Well, and we had inexperienced riders among us, so we wouldn't have been flying anyways. It's not just you. It's not just you.
Wow. I've never been so disrespected in my life.
To be clear, that was me saying that, not Lila. Lila would never.
That was me saying that, not Bronwyn.
Excellent. Just want to make sure we got that.
So Hawk looks around at all of you and says, why exactly did you willingly go into the Fade?
I wanted to see if it could be used as a power source.
I'm sorry. Does Clay actually say that?
I feel like he would. Yeah, he's kind of pissed about it.
Lila's gonna stare at him like he's grown another head.
What
you
are you?
really think that you're capable of harnessing the power of the Fade?
I mean, has anyone tried? So like,
Yes.
that was,
How do you think the Black City happened?
well, obviously somebody fucked something up. That doesn't mean I'm gonna make the same mistake.
It could mean you turn into a darkspawn.
I wasn't playing with it that much.
The sharp intake of breath at what Hawk said.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't like that idea.
He looks at Bronwyn and he says, we have expected a warden to hang out with a better sword than this.
She kind of shrugs and she's like, I didn't pick them, but I'd keep them.
Well, you certainly picked these two. And he points at Clay and Diani.
She just kind of looks at her feet to hide a blush.
Clay puts an arm around her shoulders.
She was just like,
Hawk, we were essentially ordered to by the Inquisitor.
Why?
She sent us here to close the rift. There haven't been rifts for a while.
And one just opened in the middle of a field full of giant fucking swords.
Yes?
She also asked us to find you.
Of course she did. Because she would never stay behind herself. No. No, it's her fault we were there in the first place.
I suppose technically it was a warden's fault that you were there in the first place, but
the wardens were being led by Corypheus. They were being tricked.
Doesn't mean any of us had to stay behind. Or that we had to be there. Or that she had any right to choose between the two of us.
I was under the impression she was forced to choose. That you and your buddy were fighting over who would stay to fight the demon.
Is that what they told you?
I mean, that's the story.
Of course it is. Anything to paint her in a better light.
And Ashara gives you that look like, excuse me?
You knew she was with Solas, right? And now you're telling me that he's Fen'Harel or whatever, and you expect me to believe that it wasn't planned.
Hawk,
He betrayed her.
you weren't there when he left. When things ended between them.
Right, because it all matters so much, doesn't it?
Clay leans into Bronwyn and whispers, "This is why you never meet your heroes."
She just kind of looks at him like, heroes?
Forced, yeah.
Allie, can we just clarify who was the warden that was there with them and
Shroud.
what?
Who's Shroud?
Okay, and then what party members were with the Inquisitor?
Oh, that's a good question. We'll just pick one of each class. Ellie, pick a number between 1 and 3.
2.
So Dorian. And then Katie, same thing.
3.
Sarah.
You was happy about that.
Sebastian. Pick another number.
2.
Blackwall.
That's a party.
Sure.
I mean,
So, yeah,
that
that's
all
who-
makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, and obviously it couldn't have been Varric in this version since Varric wouldn't have let her stick up behind.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Oh, I feel icky. I don't like this.
You know, it's fine to be bitter and angry. I can get that.
I lost 3 whole fucking years of my life. Do you
I know.
get it?
I don't understand what you're saying, Hawk. Did she how could she have forced you to stay?
Doesn't matter anymore.
Does it though?
I was stuck in the Fade for 3 years. Don't want to think about it anymore.
Does anybody else have another wineskin for him?
Please.
I think I actually might. But Ashara doesn't know if she wants to give it to him. Awkward silence fills the camp.
Clay doesn't want to talk to him anymore.
Hawk finishes his food, sets the plate down, and kind of just nods to Ashara before getting up and wandering through the swords again.
Guess we should be glad that the names aren't on the swords anymore. Fucking horses to come.
Yeah, does anyone else have anything to do in camp before the horses come?
No.
All right, so we'll say.
Yeah. I mean, a conversation needs to be had, but
We'll then
that
have this
can be-
conversation.
could be.
No conversations need to be had.
It could be
Okay. All right. Then
This could be something that's a written role play.
Did I get out of it?
No,
I got out of it.
no.
so the sun is beginning to set over the peaks of the mountain, and you can hear the thundering of the horses' hooves echoing through the valley. Kind of looking around, it sounds like they're coming from all around you because, again, echoing through a valley. But eventually, off from the direction you came, you see 3 riders with other horses in tow. At the front, there is a heavily armored man with blonde hair that is charging faster than the others. When they reach the swords, he kind of like weaves around them until he like finally pulls the horse to a halt, jumps off his horse, and is like looking around frantically before his eyes fall on you, Lila. And he rushes over to you. Still, he looks exactly as he had when you popped into Skyhold. Very tired, dark circles under his eyes. He has shaved. So he's
You want it to look nice.
And he's in his full armor. He, no words, just walks up, wraps you in a bear hug.
Oh my god. She's like immediately hugging back. Like she probably didn't run to him just because she was like nervous and feeling awkward, but like the moment he grabs her, she's grabbing right back on.
Is it really you?
Yeah. I'm here.
It's not a trick of the Fae.
No, I'm here.
Was it you before?
Yes.
How?
I don't entirely know.
He squeezes you a little tighter. When you didn't return, we all thought the worst.
I'm so sorry.
It's been 2 months since you left.
I'm so sorry, Colin. It's only been a few days for us.
He pulls away slightly to look down at you. How has it only been a few days?
I guess time works differently in the Fade.
That would mean Hawk. Oh no.
Ashara points off to where Hawk is in the distance.
And he just kind of gives you a nod before turning his attention back to Lila.
Where it belongs.
I'm taking you home.
She's just gonna nod and then reach a hand up to his face and kind of like rub her thumb along his cheekbone for a second. Are you all right?
I am now.
Yeah, she's gonna kiss him then.
And he does kiss her back. You see that the other two that came with him are.
Oh, there are other people there? Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, there's two other people. They finally reached the camp with the other horses.
It's Jim, isn't it?
One of them
It's
is
Jim and his brother Jim.
One of them is Jim, and the other is just a scout.
It's the rogue version of Jim.
The rogue version of Jim. And they are kind of like helping you all gather your things, pack the horses, as Lila and Cullen have this moment.
Sorry, I'm just imagining Clay has the same expression that Brie has right now. Like,
I was just about to say Clay is definitely he's like picking up his stuff, but he's definitely working his way so that he's behind Cullen's back so that Lila can see him, and he's like making like.
Have you seen the trailer for Thor, the new Thor movie, where like Star-Lord is giving this inspiring speech and Thor is just sliding into camera? That's Clay. Is Hawk with us?
He's wandering back over to camp once he sees the horses.
I think that she's terrified, but Diani's going to hang back until he gets to them and try to get his attention.
He's kind of gathering his things, and he sees you staying behind. Just kind of like barely glances at you over his shoulder and says, "What do you want?"
I wanted to apologize.
I did not hear what you said.
She kind of like steps forward and is like goes to twist her hand in her braids, and her braids aren't there, so she goes back to like twisting her fingers. And it's like, I wanted to apologize.
For using your magic to control me.
Yes. I can't say that I wouldn't do it again if it meant that Bronwyn stayed alive, but I did want to apologize. It wasn't a personal attack. I just.
No, I get it. You're in love with the dwarf, whatever she is. You do realize she's a warden, though, right?
Yes.
Whatever romance is going on between you two isn't going to end well.
Oh no.
I know that she has a duty, but
You don't know, do you?
no.
Wardens have a shortened lifespan.
What do you mean?
In order to be a warden, you have to have some of the taint within you. It is slowly killing her.
Come on, Hawk. Like, can you? This is not for him to share.
She has gone pale, and she's just kind of blinking and like staring at him like she's trying to figure out if this is some really cruel joke, or that Bronwyn really didn't tell them.
My sister's a warden. It was an unfortunate choice that had to be made. And I miss it every day. But the alternative was that she die immediately. This way she got 30 more years.
30.
About.
So the reason that she was so worried about us being up there.
She didn't want you to get the blight.
But she has it.
Yes, that's what makes her a warden. That's how she's able to sense the darkspawn.
She didn't tell us.
Most wardens don't. I only know because I was friends with one and my sister's one.
Friends.
Was.
She's gonna kind of like take a real shuddery breath and then kind of nod and, well, I just wanted to apologize and then I'm sorry again. I hope
Sorry you didn't know.
and kind of scurry off to her stuff.
So at this point, the horses have been packed up, ready to go. There's enough for each of you, unless you want to double up and put more packs on one horse. That's fine.
Clay would like to double up with Bronwyn.
Yeah, Bronwyn probably doesn't want to ride alone.
Neither of them know how to ride a horse.
Clay sort of knows at this point.
Sort of.
Bronwyn got training from the prime horse girl.
And is now
But now
missing an
she's
arm.
missing an arm.
Girl.
Yeah, but there's 2 more arms.
I mean, I feel like now Bronwyn can like not fall off the horse. So like that's the level we're at now.
So you begin your journey back through the Frostback Mountains. You make good time. Takes you about a day and a half to reach Skyhold once again. And when you do finally make your way through the gates, there's quite a few people there waiting. Many familiar faces. You see Liliana and Josephine. Many of the other members of the inner circle, minus Varric. Cassandra's also not there because she's the divine. But the others are all pretty much there. Along with many, like if Ashara and Lila and Asira had friends within the Inquisition, they were all there too, just kind of waiting for y'all to return after 2 months of being AWOL.
Ashara hasn't
and the
been.
Inquisitor's there. So Colin is the first one to jump off his horse. And he hands the horse off to one of the stable people. And immediately goes to Lila to help her down from her horse, even though he knows she's capable.
I'm dying. She accepts the help.
He helps her
Yeah,
down.
she does.
The Inquisitor steps forward and looks over all of you, and her eyes fall on Hawk. And he's just got this cold expression on his face. He's very quiet. And the Inquisitor looks to all of you and nods and says, I'm glad you're all safe. Just kind of leave your back. And then she looks at Bronwyn and looks at her arm.
Buddies.
You didn't happen to run into Solas, did you?
That's just like his MO now. That's what he does in fights.
And she shrugs and she goes, no, this is from my own stupidity.
Oh, that that's good then.
Valid.
You can
Valid.
tell
response.
she's
We respect
very
it.
she's very stressed. Like she's always stressed, but she's very stressed. I know you all would probably like to rest, but before you do, could you perhaps join us in the war room?
I mean,
Good.
I mean, I've got things to do, but I'll make time for it if I have to.
Let me see if I can clear my schedule.
Let me just like he pulled out his journal. He's like,
Um,
I just came back from the dead. I got a lot to do.
mhm.
Got a girlfriend who needs an arm.
So she nods to the rest of the advisors in the inner circle, and they all walk with you up to the war room. It's a big old war room party.
Okay, but like important question. Does Colin try to hold Lila's hand?
Oh yes, if he doesn't try to hold her hand, he might have no, here's what happened. As they're walking like up the staircase, he's like got his hand on her back the whole time. But then once they like enter Skyhold in the castle, he takes her hand.
Oh my god. Okay.
secondary question.
Yes.
Did the Inquisitor clock either Ashara or Diani with?
Definitely.
Okay.
Hence another reason why she asked if y'all ran into Solas. You're muted.
Phone was muted, not Zoom. What about the other member of their clan that was missing?
Oh, she doesn't even phase her. She doesn't even realize it doesn't comprehend. She's just so stressed. She just doesn't even realize he's there or who
He's
he
over
is.
here like, he was in the group to begin with, right? Like, he was just one of them.
She's just counting like, yeah, this seems right.
That's a like similar number, maybe. Let's go.
So they all lead you up into the war room. The Inquisitor and her advisors gather on the side they're normally on. Cullen reluctantly lets go of your hand, Lila. But he does maintain eye contact with you as he walks around to the other side of the table. Now that we're back in Skyhold, I can destroy Katie.
If he stopped while we were in the fade.
So, she kind of looks around at all of you. So, and Hawk's there too, and Ashan, they're all there. She looks at all of you and says, I'm sure by now you all are aware of the situation in Kirkwall. I received word from, what's his name? And this is both me and her. Viscount assistant.
Oh, that bitch.
That bitch. I want to say Bran.
Yeah.
Braun. Yeah, it's like
What's his
Bran.
title? What's his title?
Seneschal Braun.
Michelle.
Seneschal. Yes. We'll say it was Josephine who was stepping in to help her there. Yes, the Seneschal. We've received word from the Seneschal that Varric's condition is getting worse. And with how things are in Kirkwall, we believe that Solas is almost definitely behind it. I don't know why he would go after so many people. I mean, I'm just reading Discord. I don't know what his motive is, but why would he go after Varric?
Well, we know he's a dick, so.
Just when you think you know someone, And then she just kind of turns her back to all of you as she's trying to compose herself. When she finally faces you all again, she specifically looks at all of you versus her own inner circle. I know this is a lot to ask after everything you've already done for us, but with your experience with the Evan perhaps there's something you could do in Kabul. People are dying, and I know that my own people are safe, but if Varric dies, and at this point you just see Hawk's face pale, and he walks out of the room.
Bronwyn just kind of like really awkwardly clears her throat. Valentin says that he thinks Solas caused the plague, obviously, but doesn't have like further information on how. But he did say that Kelly, which god is in the marches?
June.
But he did say that June might be in that area.
I'm sorry, you spoke with Valentin?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Looks to Ashara.
Yeah.
And then finally notices Ashan next to you, and she's like, "Are you dead?" And he's like, "Not dead. Was stuck in the fade. Now I'm here. Hi. You've really moved on up in the world, haven't you?" And she's just, "I don't have time for this." How many gods have you all met?
You see Ashara like counting on her fingers.
Like all the whole party puts up fingers at once.
Lilase, Valentin,
Dirtman.
Four, I think.
Who's king god? What's the big guy?
Algernon.
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 It's four.
Wait, we met
Silas, yeah.
Earthman, Algernon,
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
And perhaps Gillenon.
Whatever white-haired lady was.
Asharvas
don't
might
know
be
for
Gillenon.
sure.
Might be going
We don't know for sure, but yeah, so at least 4 for sure. Outside of their avatar states that pulled us into this whole mess to begin with.
Save Thetis once and it falls apart again. Isn't that just how it goes? Will you go to Kirkwall?
We did it first.
Can we get inside of Kirkwall? I thought they were keeping everyone out.
Liliana has the ways.
There are some deep roads that go into Kirkwall too, if we
In your state, I don't think that's wise.
What do you mean in my state?
She holds up her own nub. Have you acclimated to it yet?
Just because you can't fight one-armed doesn't mean I can't.
Girl, she a mage. What are you talking about?
We're gonna take care of that, baby. Don't worry about it.
It is an adjustment. I've had a year to adjust. It's not perfect, but it still takes time. You're not ready for the deep roads.
I think I'll be fine if I choose to go in the deep roads.
As you say that, Blackwall's there.
Wait, has he been there this whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, she just kind of like
And he's just like giving her a look, like,
Young lady,
Do it,
you don't mouth the Inquisitor like that.
and he's like giving you like,
And her eyes flicker to him. Her eyes flicker to him as he does this, and then she's like, and she just takes a step back.
Will you at least think about it?
So
I
from the point that she first mentioned like leaving, Lila's been like gripping the table and just like staring down at her hands. And she finally jumps in with, won't those of us who are human just get sick?
We're working on it.
My dad's been a doctor that I know in Kirkwall has been fine. His wife got it, but he has been okay this whole time, as well as his
Are you
son.
speaking of Dr. Hawkins?
Yeah. He's been handling a lot of the cases, and he's been, as far as I'm aware, he's been okay this whole time.
Then there's someone here at Skyhold you need to speak with then.
Bronwyn kind of looks between them and is just like, another option is that only those of us with elven blood go.
And you would rather split your party than...
I'm not going back if you're
If
going.
it means saving their lives, yes.
This time Blackwall actually speaks and he says, I think that's enough self-sacrificing for now.
Oh, and when Blackwall says it,
And Bronwyn just looks at him, and for just a moment, her eyes glow red. Just like a flash of red at the anger.
And he doesn't flinch. He's just staring you down.
Clay's like, oh shit, I'm gonna get punched again.
He likes it a little bit.
I don't know how many Kunari are left in Kirkwall, but have any of them been affected?
Not as far as I'm aware. I don't think there are any there. And then she looks up at Iron Bull and he chimes in and says, no Kunari are stationed there right now. There might be some Talbashoth outside the city, but if the plague's only within the city's walls, as far as I know, no one's got it.
I mean, I'm fine going to the city. I mean, we already died once. But
Another
So
5,
just kinda
huh?
looks at you. And then Cullen looks at Lila.
but can we at least have one night's sleep?
Of course. I would never expect you to leave after what you've been through so soon. Please take a day or two to rest and gather your things.
Yeah, Lila's gonna, as like there's kind of a pause in the settles, she's gonna, for her, very quietly ask, is this an order?
The Inquisitor actually looks over to Cullen. And he's having trouble meeting your eyes at this point. After a moment, he just nods and says, it is.
Yeah, she gives a little nod, and then she's not making eye contact with Cullen at all now.
Well, then I have your room still prepared from when you were here for the masquerade. Please get some rest, and hopefully we'll have more information for you in the morning.
Jesus Christ.
Who?
That's me. That was high tension level.
So
if they were to do that, he'd be like, Maker, I mean.
So the Inquisitor dismisses you all. Before he leaves, Blackwall goes over to Bronwyn. And he says,
she looks at him and she goes, "We talked one time. Don't assume you know me."
"There's someone here who knows you better than I do."
Oh, hell.
And who's
Damn.
that?
"I think you know." He's at the stables. I said, "I think you know." He's at the stables.
She doesn't answer. She just runs.
To the state.
And by run, I mean hurry. She's not gonna run full out run, but she turns and she goes.
While she's running,
Clay's at the door and he's like, we'll have that.
the Inquisitor goes over to Clay.
What?
The Inquisitor goes over to Clay.
Got it. Cool. Hi. Person I've never talked to.
You said Dr. Hawkins was like a father to you?
I mean,
Oh.
I mean, kind of. It was a complicated situation. I was very close with his son. And so I
You mean Willow?
Yeah, I was very close with the family.
Well, then I'm sure he'd be very happy to see you.
Spinning wheel of death behind Clay's eyes right now. Willow's here?
Yes, if I see him, I'll have him find you.
I mean, is there a place maybe that I could meet him?
You could see if he's in his rooms this evening. He's here as a guest of the Inquisition, trying to help us better understand the plague, while his father cares for his mother.
Yeah, I heard. Okay. Yeah, if you see him, can you tell him that I'll meet him at his rooms later this evening?
Of course.
Thank you.
All right.
You made
What
it
do y'all
do? Tell him everything. Now he's got to do it.
What do y'all do when you see Bronwyn bolting from the room? Particularly
talks to
Chloe.
random strange man, runs.
You know that Tiani's gonna follow, even despite everything. So
Okay.
maybe a little while backward, like further back, but not great at English today, apparently.
So before we go do that, so the war room clears out, but Cullen makes sure to grab your hand, Lila, and keep you behind. And he waits until everyone else is gone. I'm sorry. I know it's not ideal. I want you to stay here, but I know it's better if you go with them.
Why?
They clearly need you.
No.
You! That was so rude.
I'm so sorry.
That's brutal.
I'm so sorry. I forgot I wasn't muted. I gotta go.
One sec. As always, I have to roll to decide which thing she ends up doing. Oh, okay. She's gonna start speaking, but clearly not finish her thought of like, I thought I didn't think you'd when?
When what?
When do I have to leave?
Oh, right. We're hoping in 2 days. The Inquisitor's hoping in 2 days.
Is that what you want?
You already know the answer to that.
I think I did die, Cullen.
What makes you think that?
I saw my brother.
You were in the Fade. I'm not surprised. The Inquisitor saw Divine Justinia.
I had already seen him be impersonated. This was different.
What do you mean?
It wasn't a trick to get me to trust anyone. It was like he was welcoming me home.
I'm sure it was just a trick of the Fade.
Don't come back. What if I don't come back?
You went into the Fade and disappeared for 2 months and you came back.
And now we only get 2 days.
It's better than none. It's better than never seeing you again.
I think at that point she's gonna go to him and hold on to him.
He pulls her into her arms, like against his chest, and is like holding her tight as he kind of runs his fingers through her short hair now.
Oh.
I like the hair, by the way. It looks nice.
Thank you, but it wasn't exactly intentional. I see you. I see you over there.
You'll come back, Lila. I know you will. And even if you make it out of Kirkwall and don't return to Skyhold, I'm sure we'll meet somewhere on the battlefield. This is all War II.
Can you say that last thing again? I didn't hear you.
This is our War II.
I think she's just gonna manage to get out. I thought I wasn't gonna see you again, and just start crying on him.
He doesn't say anything. He just buries his face in her hair as he holds her tightly.
Died. I am dead.
I feel like I need to have in our counters, have a Katie kill count. And it's not
Yeah.
how many times Katie's killed people, it's how many times I've killed Katie. All right. So while that's happening,
If it was how many times Katie's killed people, we wouldn't be able to have a count of it. It'd be too many.
so while this is happening, Bronwyn, you are racing down the stairs, making your way to the stables. And your little dwarf legs take you.
It's the little feet slapping. Daddy? Yeah.
Yeah. You get to the stables and you can see there is a warden standing there,
Is he bald?
an older bald man with his back turned to you, and he's just kind of brushing one of the horses.
And she stops maybe like 10 feet away.
Daddy?
She goes, old man.
He stands up straight, but he keeps his back to you and he says, "See, you're not dead?"
So you haven't kicked the bucket?
He chuckles and turns and looks at you. You haven't changed one bit. And then he sees your arm. Maybe you have.
How does he look? Does he look like he was in her vision?
He looks very tired, like he hasn't been sleeping.
No one has.
And so he says maybe a little or whatever he said. And she goes, "You look like shit."
You look like shit.
Been through shit.
Maybe I've been through shit.
Doubt it.
What kind of shit have you been through?
Died once.
Well, I died, went into the Black City, touched the source of the blight, took my arm.
That's some shit.
There's some shit. And as she says this, she like is like starting to choke up. And then she's like, go ahead.
He sees that and he just kind of looks at her a little confused. Because like he probably hasn't seen her cry very often.
No, he hasn't. Maybe,
Especially
like,
not since
twice.
she's been an adult. Yeah. And says, what's wrong with you?
And she just Nothing's wrong with me.
Why do you look like you're gonna cry?
I don't cry.
Right?
I don't cry.
He says it at the same time as you. You don't cry. Maybe you need to cry. Is that a
Nah.
thing? People need to cry?
Figuring this out a little bit too late in life, sir.
Not us. She says as she's like crying.
He takes a few steps closer until he's right in front of her. And he puts both hands on her shoulders. What's wrong, kid?
And she just shakes her head and she's like, nothing's wrong.
You've never been a very good liar.
Never had much to lie about before.
And you do now.
Well, you certainly have.
I mean, I haven't seen you since you went behind my back and became a warrior.
You haven't seen me since you left me in the middle of the night without so much as a goodbye.
I had my reasons.
Yeah.
They were shit.
And what were they?
Told you. Shit.
He goes quiet and he can't look at her face.
Tell me the truth, Crunch. For once in your goddamn sorry life. Make her damned.
I didn't want you to see me go through the calling.
I'd been watching you. I'd been nursing you.
Far too much.
But it
Far
wasn't
too-
it wasn't your real calling.
I know
Not-
that now.
Not at first, at least. You don't look great now, though.
Yeah. That's not really because of the calling, though.
What other shit have you gotten yourself into?
It's nothing I've gotten myself into.
Who's gotten into you then? Who pegged this old man?
No! That's my dad!
Rewind.
It was right there.
I can't believe. We're having a moment. I'm gonna need you to shut. My computer's probably set up.
Said what you said. What was happening? I just knew someone's being pegged.
She said, "What have you gotten yourself into now?" And he was like, "I haven't gotten myself into anything or whatever."
Apparently your friend Bethany has gotten to be friends with the Inquisitor. And she let me know you've been missing.
Well, I'm fine.
Let's
mean-
see that now.
So what, you gonna
You
leave?
disappeared off the face of Thetis for 2 months.
We went to the Fade.
Why?
Well, I didn't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
My
Because you didn't want to be the savior of all of mankind, saving them from the blight because, touched the blight orb thing that you said and lost your arm.
Okay, well, once the opportunity presented itself to maybe find the origin
Because you
of the
weren't-
blight, of course I was gonna go in. What kind of warden would I be if I didn't?
You could give a damn about yourself for once.
You could give a damn about me for once.
What do you think I've been doing your whole life?
Making me feel like shit.
He steps back from you. Right. You're right. Sorry. He walks away, goes back to his horse.
Crunch, come on.
Now I'm the bad
Now
guy.
I'm the bad.
No, you're right. I treated you like shit. You deserve better than that.
So give me better now.
How? You're gonna run off in your little adventures, saving people from the blight and whatever the hell this elf thing is. You know I can't come with you.
You know this elf thing affects you more than you think it does.
Oh, I know. But I can't go with you. I can't. I have other things that need to get done for this.
What do you have that's so important?
Protecting people from whatever this thing is. The Inquisitor's got the wardens involved.
Of course she does.
I mean, we owe her after everything.
She's just like contemplating right now. So then tell me the truth.
Oh, what?
Come on, you know what?
You just tell me what you think it is I know.
Tell me about my mom.
You think I know about your mom?
She looks down at her feet and shakes her head and like holds her hand up to her bandage. Nope, it's the other side of her head. She holds her hand up to the unbandaged side of her head. Yeah, I think you knew my mom pretty well.
Who did you talk to?
Who did I? Falandine, you know, Elvhen, god of death.
So you went into the Fade and came out crazy.
I went into the Fade and was told the truth for the first time in my fucking life.
You know things aren't in the Fade aren't real.
What I saw didn't happen in the Fade.
But when you saw it, you were in the Fade.
This motherfucker. I mean, literally.
And she looks away. All right, Crunch. If that's how you want to play it, fine.
I can't be what you want me to be.
She really is just completely quiet. And she's not looking at him.
You're a good kid. And I wish I could take credit for that, but we both know I'm not made up for this.
When she finally looks back at him, she is very obviously she turned away because she had started crying. So you're not my dad then?
He doesn't say anything.
What was her mom's name, Callie? Mira?
I think it was
I-
Mila.
Mila. Okay. All right, sorry. You didn't fall in love with a dwarf named Mila?
Never said that.
Are you or are you not my dad?
What do you want from me, Bronwyn?
The truth.
You know it already. Clearly, you know it already.
I
You don't
want
need me.
you to say the truth. I want you to tell me the truth.
That I'm your dad? Is that what you want to hear?
Only if it's real.
Just because it's true doesn't mean it's real.
You're so fucking full of shit, old man.
Yeah, probably. And you've dealt with it this long.
Why did
I
you come
can't
here?
be what you want me to be.
You already are.
He turns and looks at her again. Don't fucking say that. We both know that's not true.
I just want you to say it.
Fine. Fine. I'm your dad. Big deal.
And she just like barrels into a hug, and she just hugs him.
Don't have dice. You pick a number. Pick a number, 1 or 2.
2.
You, as you run and hug him, you knock him onto the ground.
That's fine.
So he's on the ground and under you, he's like, pat. You know you can't be doing these kinds of things to an old man.
Some old men deserve it.
Valid, yeah, sure.
She'll get up and offer him her existing hand.
He takes it and gets up to his feet. Little struggle because of the height difference, but it's fine. Tries not to throw you off balance. So, what now?
She is suddenly very distracted looking at his ears.
Well, what are you looking at?
So do you know you're an elf?
Of course I fucking know I'm an elf.
She shrugs. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I guess, and she like holds up her hand to, I can't remember what ear it was. I think it would have been that ear. She holds up her hand to her ear. She specifically touches her scar. She's like, guess you would know.
Mm-hmm.
She shrugs. All right, you want to meet my girlfriend and boyfriend?
You're what? Because, yeah, were you two watching this whole thing happen?
I feel like, you know how there's like the little wall by where like the stalls are. I think she's back there, just kind of like quietly watching. She just wanted to make sure she was okay.
No, you stopped because you had to talk to you.
I stopped, but I knew it was at the stable, so I feel like Clay would have made his way there eventually. He probably didn't catch a lot of it, but he would have been like Diani's faced this way and kind of quietly listening and watching, and Clay's facing her and like leaning up against the low wall, like casually, definitely listening in though. What's happening? That's her dad. Clay's making all sorts of expressions at Diani right now, like.
Listen, Bronwyn gets no privacy, and the last time she got privacy, she ran off.
The last time she got privacy, she did go try to kill herself. So it's
100%. Not allowed anymore.
Also, because Ev and I were talking about it in chat, Diani still has Bronwyn's Warden Oath necklace. It is still wrapped around her staff.
Nice.
All right, so you want to meet my boyfriend and girlfriend?
You have both?
She shrugs. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how to feel about this.
That's all right. You're not very good at feeling things anyway.
And he just like nudges her with his elbow, but like hard.
She stumbles a little bit and then like gets him back, but like with her shoulder.
He also stumbles a little bit.
You're so mean to each other.
I guess
if you turn around
to your boyfriend and girlfriend.
All right, let's go, old guy. If she turns around, can she see them watching?
Clay's not
Probably.
watching.
Or at least you can see Clay.
I would like to roll stealth.
Sure.
I mean, Clay was like standing with his back facing,
Yeah.
so
So he's visible.
he's visible, but
Mhm.
I think Diani's
Agreed.
visible too.
Well, I rolled a 6.
Bronwyn turns around and Diani
Plus
is like
3.
trying to edge behind Clay.
And she just points, she goes, oh, there they are.
And he just kind of, hi.
Clay's like, oh my god, I gotta make a good impression, and he turns around, and I feel like he would knock his elbow against something, and like, nearly fall over. Just be like, smooth recovery. Hey,
And he looks at Bronwyn. Really?
She shrugs. She's like, I don't, you didn't exactly teach me great.
Hey, you never met your mom.
She just like glances off to the side, like, and then chooses not to address that comment. And then she'll wave them closer, I guess.
Clay would like to walk over and try and
I feel like when Bronwyn turned around and saw them, Diani was definitely like holding her staff in front of her. Like, secret.
Secret. She's just like, they're a little awkward, but they're good once you get to know them.
Clay would like to shake Crunch's hand.
And he does, and it's like when you shook hands with Pete.
Oh no! Oh no, this is awkward. Shaking hands with him is like you take the hand and it's like the guy's like, I need to be masculine, so he holds on really tight and is shaking and he's just like, this is definitely how things go, this is definitely how a handshake goes, and is just holding very tight and shaking for way longer than is comfortable, and he just hears like, okay, yeah, very masculine men, yes, it's very masculine, I love it, great, thank you, can we
Yes.
anytime now?
This is Crunch. Yes. And as they're shaking, Bronwyn just kind of like looks between them and is like to Crunch. And is like, this
Oh,
is Clay
let's go.
and Diani. This is Crunch. He's my dad.
Nice to meet you, sir.
I'm her dad.
It's nice to meet you, sir.
He steps up and he like does his best to look imposing.
old dying man.
He says, "What makes you think you're good enough to date my daughter?"
And she just looks at him. No, before anyone can answer, she looks at him and she punches him. Like in the arm. But like with
I
her-
was joking.
Don't do that. You're not good at it.
Clay, who had
I want
frozen
to-
in fear and was like, how do I defend myself? How do I do this? Is like slowly melting. It's just like, okay.
Am I not allowed to joke around with your boyfriend?
No,
Am I not allowed?
no.
I'm not allowed to do bad things.
As long as
Now
the
that
jokes
you're
are
back.
funny, sir.
She gestures. She's like, yeah, okay. She's very awkward right now.
And then he looks at Diani. And he like squints.
She's so nervous. She's so nervous.
And Bronwyn is just like, you better be nice to her.
Are you Dalish?
Yes, sir.
You just don't have the
And
face.
and again, she's gonna shoulder him.
Ow! What was that for?
Don't ask about the tattoos.
What about your tattoo?
The mine's different. I met him. We're friends now.
With the tattoo?
No, with the god. I mean, he's not really a god. He's just like really like a mage with a lot of power that's really old. I'm talking older than you.
It's really old.
Yeah, really old.
Okay. We're gonna close that scene and take a break. We're gonna go to Ashara and Ashan.
Hmm.
And if you want, the Inquisitor.
Yeah, Ashara would have talked to the Inquisitor.
And Ashan's just sticking with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after everyone's kind of dispersed from the war room, the Inquisitor invites you up to her quarters just to get away from everyone.
Mhm.
And she kind of looks between the two of you. Now that I have time to process, what exactly happened? How is he here?
I'm still not entirely clear on how he got into the Fade. And she looks at Ashan like,
I mean, I was hunting and he, I guess, was reaching for the ram. That's what I'm going for. I was thinking deer, but I'm like, no, it's not a deer. For the ram that I had killed. And instead he grabbed me. Valendean grabbed me. And then he couldn't send me back. Until now. Here I am.
when and Ashara will pick up and just be like, when we went to investigate that Fade rift that you had reports of, we got, I don't want to say pulled through because that's not entirely how it happened, but one of the artifacts I told you about opened it into more of a door than a rift. And we went in because we figured, well, maybe it was a way to get Hawk. And shenanigans.
Clearly many shenanigans.
Died, almost died. Falandine and Ashan found us, rescued us, resurrected us.
So you did die.
I think it felt
Okay.
like it. We went into the Black City.
You what?
And yeah, she's just like tips of her ears red, slowly creeping down, like, oh yeah, that was like not something we're supposed to do. Yeah, it supposedly normally stays up in the sky, out of reach. You were there, you could see it, it was
I saw it in the sky.
in the
Yes.
sky, yeah. It came down.
Oh, that's not good.
And while it was down, our warden friend, doing the warden thing of, oh, I'm gonna be self-sacrificing and just run off and do everything on my own.
Oh yes, I'm very familiar. Looks at Blackwell as he's like walking around the corner.
Did that, found the tracks,
Rude.
went after, went into the city, got stuck in the city, fought Andraste.
So
A demon maybe that looked like Andraste. I'm not
this was at this where was this in the Black City? Just the Black City, or
I don't know if Ashara would know.
I mean, it was a castle.
Yeah, okay, I mean, she'll say that. I mean, it was like in the center of the city, in a castle. It was big.
You do you think you fought the Forgotten Ones?
That's honestly my personal theory, but I have no way of confirming it that I trust.
We can't trust anything these days, can we?
I mean, some things I trust more than others, I suppose, but I don't know if we killed some of them. I don't know if they can be killed, honestly.
Well, if Solas is just a man,
and Falandine is just a man or a powerful mage, and supposedly the rest of the gods as well. The one that looked like Andraste did not die.
lovely.
But
I'll make sure Lilian is aware, or at least that her scouts are aware that there might be more rifts opening. Did you find how that rift opened?
I don't know how the rift itself opened. I know that the door that we walked through, that the rift became that way because of Silas. I don't know what the source of the. Miss Ellie doesn't remember if we ever found out that.
You didn't.
Okay, yeah, no. No, I don't know what the source of the rift was, though. Obviously we did find Hawk. Hawk thinks that you were in on it with Solas in leaving him behind.
Oh.
So if he seems extra bitter and like an asshole.
I mean, he has every right to be bitter. We left it behind.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, like, if he seems more of an asshole than general, I think he thinks that you did it on purpose. Like you intended to do it from the beginning. Just a heads up.
Great. So he's got many things to be upset with me for. I don't think he's handling the news about Varric well.
No.
None of us all really. But I know he was especially close with him. Did you learn anything about Solas's plot while you were in the Fade?
From what Falandine surmised, he thinks that Solas is trying to create a power vacuum. Kill off enough humans makes a space for the elves.
I mean, he's not wrong, but
It's not the
it's
way
not right.
not the way I would go about it, no.
No.
How much of that is true, I don't know.
It's hard to know if anything's true these days. Can't know who to trust, can't know what's real. Can't know if people you thought were dead were going to come back to life. Looks at Sean.
I think I froze, so if you said anything, I completely missed it.
Oh no!
Yeah.
She was just going on a rant about how you can't trust anything. And then she ended it with what did I say about Sean? What did I say? How did I word it? It was good.
No.
Can't know if anybody who you thought was dead is going to come back alive. Something like that.
And then she looked at Sean.
Ashar just like, I don't know what to say.
Do you have anything else to report on this?
Out of character, because we haven't finished our chat, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if Ashar would have anything else to
Yeah.
spill to the Inquisitor.
I take it you know. And she just kind of nods at you and your face.
Yeah, it's the one thing that I do trust him to tell the truth, and only because Falandine confirmed it before I asked. And she looks down, like she doesn't want to make eye contact. And she's like, I hope you'll believe me when I say that this doesn't mean I'm on his side. I just couldn't abide.
Believe me, I know.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that you and your friends are able to at least get some rest tonight. And we'll give you all of tomorrow as well to prepare. And hopefully Liliana will have some answer for defending the humans in your party from the plague.
One more thing.
Yes.
Since you know, Falandine told the rest of the party before I was ready, so I might as well tell you, but I'm a mage, I guess.
But
I know.
Try it.
she was scratching.
Oh. Yeah. What happened, I guess, recently?
I don't remember what we were talking about. I'm sorry.
Oh, Ashara told her that she was a mage.
Oh yeah. But you're not that you're old, but you're too.
That's what I said. And everyone. And she sounds a little like annoyed at this, including fucking Solas.
Oh, so Solas is aware. That's wonderful.
Just I guess I'm a, and I quote, a late bloomer.
Sure. I bet he did something. He must have done something to trigger it, or people don't just become mages in their 20s.
Shara almost like, she kind of like laughs, but it's almost like that, like a bitter kind of like, there's a small part of me that almost hopes that's true. So that I have someone to blame.
But wouldn't that also mean he has the power to take it away?
I was fine before I had it.
But what if he starts to learn to rely on it? In battle, every day, and he just takes it away like that.
That's a valid point, and I didn't think of it. But it's impossible to know whether it's just him or something else, but just in case I accidentally light something on fire, now you know.
Well, we'll see if we can get you at least some training before you leave for Kirkwall. That would probably be helpful for everyone.
Ashara's gonna look over at Ashan and just be like, are you gonna go towards home, or?
I mean, I probably should. I mean, I haven't seen my parents in a long time. God, I can't even imagine how big the twins are now.
Ashara laughs. She's just like, they're so big.
I mean, I guess. And he looks at the Inquisitor. If you're willing to help me get home, I can maybe take them supplies or something. And she nods and says, whatever you need, we'll help on time. And then he looks back at Shara. You gonna be good without me?
No, but I'll survive.
I mean, yeah. We still don't have to worry about you getting sick in Kirkwall.
Not all the Inquisitors there, you guys.
I was gonna say, she does dismiss the two of you, and he pulls you into basically a broom closet. He just opens the first door he finds. It's a room. And realizing you're in a broom closet and it's dark, he like firewall for light something. You kissed me? And then we just acted like nothing happened, which is fine. But like, is that gonna be like a thing, or?
Please.
She kisses him again. And when she pulls away, she says, if you want it to be.
He's kind of dazed Now that it's like a kiss when they're not
Dying.
about to die, not being chased by a monster. And he just kind of looks at her and he's like, yeah, this could be a thing. I mean, it's nice. Makes me kind of not want to go, and kind of makes me want to bring you with me. But yeah, I mean,
I would honestly feel better knowing that you were with the clan, keeping them safe, and that I'd have something to return home to.
I mean, yeah, I could do that. This boy has spent way too much time with Valentin.
Two awkward, very awkward people.
Mhm. I'll leave when you guys leave. I mean, where's the clan right now? Do you know where the clan is?
Would Ashara know where they are, roughly?
At least where
They were
she last thought
Wycombe,
they
right?
were.
Wycombe.
Where?
Were they in Wycombe? Did we have the ending where the elves got?
I think so, yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, they're up in the free marches near Wycombe.
Oh, so I can travel with you for a bit.
Yeah.
Yes. And then he opens the door again and puts out his lights. And he's about to step out. And he's like, one for the road.
she will give him another kiss.
He's like, yes. And then he leads her away. All right. We are going to now go back to Lila and Colin.
No, I'm still not ready.
Too bad. So,
Buttercup.
so the two of you were just hugging. He pulls away and kisses your forehead.
Oh my god.
If you'll allow me, I'd like to spend as much time with you these next 2 days as we can.
I'd like that too.
Good. That's good. Rubs the back of his neck like he does.
That's great.
Liliana's been doing good work on the medicine for the plague. He's not having a good time. Very tired. Would you come with me to my tower?
Yeah, I'll come with you. Great.
So the two of you go to the tower. And he, as soon as you guys are inside, he immediately is going to both the door, there's 3 doors. He goes to all 3 doors and he's like muttering under his breath about Jim.
Yeah, I was about to say Jim. You gotta close all the doors. The Jim's coming in.
Jim's got a report for you to read.
The two of you are locked into his tower, totally alone.
Oh god.
he goes and just kind of like leans back against his desk, like kind of sitting on the edge of it. Do you want to talk about what happened in the Fade? Or would you rather we just leave it?
Excuse me. So it can be very distracting down there. Once I'm ready to talk about it, I want to talk about it with you. I just think there are a lot of things that I have not, there are a lot of things that I still don't understand.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that they be. Let's
I love
talk
it. It's like that,
about
though,
sex.
Jesus. Maker's room.
I lost my train of thought. I blame you, Bree. Mm-hmm. Do you remember what the last thing she said was? Maybe it'll come back to me. Like I vaguely have an inkling of what I was thinking.
He'd asked about whether she wanted to talk about the Fade, and she said that when she was ready to talk, she wanted to talk with him, but she wasn't. She still had things she needed to figure out first.
Mm-hmm. I imagine it was a difficult time for you. But you're right. I don't want to think about it either. You being away for so long, not knowing whether you were alive.
She's gonna come towards him and put her one hand on each of his cheeks and just kind of rest her forehead against his. I'm here.
Yes, you are. I feel like I should thank you for coming home, but that seems a bit much, doesn't it?
This is the only place I wanted to be.
How were you here? Do you know what happened?
The things we were fighting, I don't know enough about magic, but it was some sort of spell that then when something else happened, the spell ended.
I see. So you weren't really here.
I don't know. I mean, we both.
It felt like you were here.
And it felt like I was there. I suppose it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that was nearly a week ago.
That's so strange. It was. We ran at the end of that fight, and that was in the middle of the fight. And then we were out of the Fade. It was minutes.
You were gone a lot longer than a few minutes.
I know. Really, are you all right?
I will be. Just heal back.
She's gonna like take a couple steps back and kind of gesture at her like at her armor and say, do you mind if I
No, please. I should probably take mine off as well. It's he turns his back to her and like takes off his cloak thingy and puts that over the back of his chair and then starts taking off just the plate armor pieces.
She starts to take off her own and then gets distracted watching him.
He gets down to just like simple pants, simple shirt, his boots. And then he turns back to look at her and he's like, were you watching me?
She's immediately just like, before he even says anything, when he turns back and she realizes what's happened, she is just bright red all over.
He grins.
Oh no.
And leans in to kiss her. It's just like a quick kiss and then steps back and he's still grinning.
You should help her take off her armor.
I don't know if I've ever seen you so smug.
You haven't seen me play chess against Dorian.
You're killing me. I'm gonna die. I think the laughter breaks the tension enough for her that she starts to finish taking out the rest for it. She doesn't have as much on as he does, but because it's Cullen, whole thing.
Yup. I know where I want this to go. I'm just trying to figure out how to get there. That will not lead to it. I mean, kind of, but no. He looks at her and he says, you know, I think this is only the second time I've seen you without your armor on.
Strange. I wouldn't have thought of that, but I suppose I haven't seen you out of yours very often either.
It's like a second skin, really, isn't it?
I feel so strange without it.
Almost naked.
Fuck you, Callie. Yeah, no, he says that, and she's again just like bright red and like, she starts to go like to grab her braid to pick because that's what she does, and then is like, oh, okay, hand coming back down. There's no hair there.
He steps closer to her and like takes her hair just kind of in his hand. You'll get used to it. You can always grow it back out if you don't like it.
I think it's hard for me to form an opinion yet. All I can think of is the fit my mother's going to throw.
Who says she even has to know? Are you planning on visiting her anytime soon?
I don't see when I'll have the time. I was hoping she doesn't pop up somewhere before I can grow it back enough for her liking.
Do you really care what she thinks?
It depends on the circumstances. In this case, it just seems like a battle not worth fighting.
It does look nice.
Thank you. They're both such fucking idiots.
I know. Yeah. Let's move on to whatever
But they
Clay and
didn't.
Bronwyn wanted to do.
But what about the kiss? What about the makeout?
They
session?
they gonna kiss.
No, we
I
gotta
mean,
wait
he
for
can-
them to make out, and then we can move along.
Bree and I
Okay.
might have had a DM where we were talking about maybe you and I should do this in an RP room.
Yeah, we could.
Okay.
Possibly an NSFW RP room.
I can make this happen.
Yes.
Neat.
All right. So whatever Clay and Bronwyn wanted to talk about. Oh yes, that.
So this is post dad reunion. So Diana went off to the gardens, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So Clay would probably ask Bronwyn if she would come back to their rooms. I think honestly they most often met up in either Deanne's or Bronwyn's room, so any of the rooms that
Wait,
they were in.
they're not sharing a room.
I know, right? They had
Wait.
individual rooms initially.
All right. Well, at this point, all their stuff would be in one room. They've been sharing a tent.
Yeah. Okay, so they go back to their room, all three of theirs room. And Clay's like, I wanted to ask you about what your plans were for what happened with your arm. I don't know if you had any thoughts on the matter. And he's like, as he's talking, he's like going through one of the pouches on his bag that's got like a really weird lock on it. It's normally not opened ever. So he's going through the pouch and he's like looking for something in particular.
She's like kind of like really weirdly watching what he's doing, confused, and is then just kind of like shrugs and is like, learn to fight with my left hand, I guess.
But no, I mean, I obviously if you have like a dwarven craft person who would be able to do this better than I, obviously we could talk to them, but I had this made up already, and it would really not take that many adjustments to adjust it to work with your arm. And as he's speaking, he's pulling out this like large-ish box, like wooden box that's got a clasp on the front, and he pulls the clasp up and he opens it and he kind of just looks at it for a second. He's got this little like kind of like small smile on his face, and he turns it to face her, and it is a pair of hands. It's like a pair of hands, and he's like, I've got a left and a right, so you know, if you need a right hand, it would be easy enough to again fashion it to something that would fit your arm, and you know, make the hand smaller if it fit everything. It'd be strong enough to hold your axe, I promise. Probably even stronger grip than your normal hand. It's metal, so you'd have to get used to it.
She's just like very quietly like, oh, as she like looks at it and like sees what's in the box, and is like silent for a couple of seconds, and is then just kind of looks at him and is like a little emotional. And she was like, I didn't even realize that was an option.
I would say it normally isn't, but I made these and other prosthetics is what they're called a long time ago. I mean, the hands were in case I lost my ability to use my hands. Just paranoia, especially as a younger man. I didn't exactly have the best outlook at how my life was going, and so having a backup pair just made sense. But I'd rather use it for this. If it's something that you're interested in, of course. I'd never want to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to cause you any trouble, but that sounds nice.
Of course, yeah. And I can customize it like I said. So if there's anything that you can think of, I mean, past it holding your axe really nice. I mean, like I can work things out, I can make some changes to the wiring, to the coding. But as soon as it attaches to your arm, it'll attach to your neural system. You should be able to use it just like you would have your original hand.
What is Callie laughing at?
You know why I'm laughing.
She laughs a little bit and she's like, I mean, just having a hand back, it would, I mean, it doesn't have to do anything special.
It does a couple things. I think I remember adding maybe like a lockpick function to it, and he picks up the hand and he like gestures to the palm, and he's like, the slits in the palm, I'm pretty sure are maybe a lockpick, and like there's a way to unlock it. And I can show you a couple of the things. It's been a while since I've worked on them. I mean, I've been busy, so but yeah, no, I'll if you ever get any ideas, I can always create a function for it.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I couldn't stand the thought of being able to give you back your hand, and it didn't make sense for me not to. Other hands can be made. I think that this is the best use for it.
You're pretty amazing, you know that?
Of Clay blushes. Clay is like completely like fully flushed. Like you've literally never seen his face this red. He's just like
The second he flushes, she like looks down as if she said something wrong.
Thank you. It was just kind of who I was around as a kid. It really helped create things. But I mean, I've never been able to talk to anybody who's taken one of my prosthetics, so this will be a first.
Oh. I mean, I don't think we're gonna be splitting up anytime soon, so.
Clay goes down on one knee in front of her and sets the box to the side, and he just throws his arms around her and he's like, no, I don't see that happening anytime soon. And he presses a kiss into the side of her face.
She hugs him back, and like when she says this, it's not like in a serious way. It is like in like a loving way. She's like, although I would still argue for you to stay out of the plagued area.
You can feel him kind of like tense up at that. And then he kind of softens, and he like his head like kind of gently knocks against yours, and he pulls back enough so that he can see your face, and he looks up at you very seriously, and he says, I can't not go back. I can't not see my. And he struggles because he always does when he talks about Cornelius, but then he finally does say dad. Can't not see my dad or my mom again. I mean, if I can help with Ella, even in the slightest, and Willow is here, which means that I need to make sure that he gets back to his parents safely. And I have unfinished business with other people there. It's, I'm not staying away from that place. I know what you mean, and I'm going to be as careful as I can. I
She nods. She nods and just kind of like presses her forehead to his. And she says, I get it. I just don't I don't want to see you get sick.
Well, even if I do, which I won't, that's me knocking on wood. uh, at least I'll have fantastic care. I know that my dad and hopefully Ella at that point will be able to take care of me. And I have a reason for the first time in many years to fight for my life. And I think I'll make it no matter what.
You better.
Power of love.
Power of love.
You better, or I'll have Valentine bring you back so I can kill you myself.
He kisses her on the nose and then on one of her cheeks, and he says, I know you would. I know you would.
All right, Katie. Okay. She'll kiss him.
Kiss.
Yeah, just like a little nice little peck. She'll kiss him.
Kiss, fall in love.
Yes.
Yeah. As they pull back, Clay's like, so that was your dad
Yeah.
earlier.
I just found out while we were in the fade.
He seems
Like a son of a bitch.
but you also are kind of mean, so I figured that you got it from somewhere.
Thanks.
You're welcome. It was in fact a compliment.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Role model.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Why wouldn't I be?
You lost your arm. We died in the fade. You almost didn't come back. You touched the light orb. You found out that you had a father.
He doesn't.
That it was
she
somebody who was
touched the
very
blight
close
orb.
to you in your life.
Has she told him how he lost an arm? How she lost her arm?
We don't know yet. We haven't had that conversation.
True. I'm I mean, no, but we'll be okay.
Me too. No, but we'll be okay. And he kisses her again. Just mwah.
Hmm.
Mwah.
End scene?
I
question mark?
should.
Oh no, you
Huh?
got it.
Oh,
Continue.
I that's it. Yeah, basically end scene. He's like, I'm probably gonna go work on this. I don't barely remember it, but I think that there was an area that had like an area to like a work set or work area set up. So I was gonna go and see if I could find that somewhere in the depths of this place again. Are you gonna stay here? Wait for Diani?
Yeah. Yeah, I think. She kind of looks down at her other arm. She's like, I do have to write a report.
She know how to write left-handed?
No.
That'll be a very interesting report then. Good luck. And he takes her hand, her good hand, obviously, and presses a kiss to the knuckles. And then gathers his stuff and stands. I'll see you later. Good night.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Okay. So Clay, you gonna go find Will?
Yeah.
It's my boy.
It's your boy. So Clay goes from talking to his girlfriend and being like, I'm gonna build you an arm. And then he goes and is like, after I talk to my ex-boyfriend.
So the Inquisitor told you where his room was so that you could find it. You get to the door and you can see candlelight through the crack underneath. You can hear him kind of shuffling around a bit on the other side of the door.
Clay has one of those moments where he goes to knock very confidently, and then he gets to like the second before his knuckles would touch the wood, and he freezes, and he's just and then he knocks.
There's a moment before the door opens, and there stands Willow. He's got his glasses on. His hair is tied up in a really messy bun. Clothes are slightly, I guess, disheveled, but more so just because he doesn't really care about his appearance right now. He furrows his brows when he sees you, and this is, can I help you?
Yes, you're Willow, correct? Willow, what is their last name again?
Hawkins.
Hawkins, thank you. Willow Hawkins.
Yeah.
I'm friends with your father. The Inquisitor sent me to talk to you about the methods being used to work on the plague in Kirkwall.
You're the one she was talking about?
Yeah, I assume so.
She
at
made it
least.
sound like I'd known you forever, but who are you?
Can I come in?
I guess, yeah. And he steps aside, closes the door behind you. So, what can I do for you?
So, what she had said about having known me. This is going to sound like an odd question, but how much do you remember about your arm? Not obviously your human one, but the prosthetic.
He looks down at it and kind of like flexes his fingers. Not a ton. I just woke up one day and my father was attaching it.
Okay. And Clay's voice is choked up. I was the one who built that arm.
Oh. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, Dad's not really a mechanic or anything. He's not very good at building things. Tried building me a treehouse as a kid. It did not go well.
I remember that.
How would you remember that?
Because when we were kids, can I just make up a memory?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember escaping training for the day and going out into the woods, and we picked out pieces of wood to try and use as like steps up to the house, and helping him nail them into the tree. And we did a lot of that work together, actually, before I was called away for the day.
treated
both-
like you were a Templar?
Of a sort. Just a recruit, just like you before your parents got you out of it.
So that's how you know me. Through Templar training.
That's how we met. Yeah.
Oh. It's weird that I don't remember that. I mean, remember all my other friends from when I was a kid.
Yeah. I didn't understand it either. I still don't really know what happened to make you forget me.
I mean, when this happened, Dad said, he said I took some magic to the face, I guess.
You
Don't
did.
know what it was, but it did something with my head. Didn't know who he was at first either.
Do you remember being a part of the coterie at all?
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping being with them would help my mom. I was told they had the antidote for whatever this is, and Dad didn't believe me, and it turns out he was right.
Do you remember? I mean, I don't know where it lay amongst your others, but do you remember one of your more recent targets?
I mean, the last one was for the Knight Captain's daughter, right?
Right.
Yeah, Knight Captain's daughter. We never found her. I mean, I don't know if my partner did, but I got out. It wasn't worth it anymore.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Okay.
I've got a lot to tell you about can we kind of fade to black?
Yeah, we can.
I don't want to actually have to say a bunch of that.
Do you want
I
to
could do a montage. I could
do a
montage.
montage and then we'll do the end.
Flick scene. We met in Templar training. When you got out, your parents kind of took me in as their own son. They figured they were the ones who I first told that I was a guy. You were amongst the first 3 people to know that I was trans. When I escaped Templar training the first time, I lived in one of your parents' properties that was kind of outside of the city. When the Templars found me again, I escaped and I fled into the free marches towards Antiva, and you followed me. And when you met me there, we had a summer of love. And I mean, from the moment that I, met up with you, we were together. And then there was an attack and you lost your arm and you weren't remembering things and you weren't. I took you back to your parents. I made the arm. They were nursing you back to health. And when I last saw you, I had created the arm. I had told your parents how to attach it, and I left because when you got hurt, it was protecting me. And if I hadn't been there, you never would have been put in that situation. And I figured it would be best to let you live instead of having to leave everything that you've known and loved, your parents, behind for danger, pain, loss of a limb, loss of memory, loss of parts of your entire life. So I left you, and I'm sorry because I made that decision myself. And I was young, and maybe it was stupid, and I should have asked you, and I should have let you make a decision on it, but it was easy to leave. And I acknowledge that, and I'm sorry, and it was shitty, and there's no way to truly apologize. And you don't even remember. So,
And my parents would vouch for this. I mean, it's kind of, it's a lot.
I know, and I'm sorry. They would vouch for most of it.
List the parts
They-
they know.
As far as they know.
So you'd rather run, is what I'm hearing, than face it.
Could you repeat that?
You'd rather run than face it.
Not anymore.
Isn't it too late for that?
Yes. I didn't make a good choice. I ran away from things that I was afraid of because I didn't know how to handle it. And it was the wrong thing to do. And I did that to you. I don't have an excuse. You needed to.
You're the one they were always talking about then. Oh, if he'd stayed, then maybe he wouldn't be this way. Oh, if he'd stayed, maybe his memory would come back. Oh, if he'd stayed.
I'm sorry, Willow. Yeah. I'm sorry. It wasn't the right thing to do. And I know that now.
So I'm fucked in the head because you left.
Maybe.
Probably. I mean, Dad's a doctor.
We'll never know what would have happened if I had courage, if I had done what would have been the right thing. I'm sorry that that's all I can offer you.
Why did you think you needed to come here then? Like, what is this doing?
I'm going to be going back to Kirkwall, and I want to be helpful with what's going on as much as I can be. And if you are going to be seeing me more often, I'd rather you hear it from me than anyone else.
Who
Or
the fuck am I gonna hear it from? My parents clearly didn't think it was worth telling me. You left. Now you're bringing this all up for what? To make yourself feel good?
I didn't want, if we were to be around each other, for you to start remembering things, if that ever happens, and I'm sorry about that. But if you had started remembering things and realized what had happened.
So
I
again, you're
felt it-
making a choice about my health for me. About my memories for me. What gives
I
you
did.
credit? You're doing it now.
I'm sorry. You're right. That was a choice that I made. I can't even give you context, and I'm sorry. But that's all I had to say. If you would rather me leave you alone now, I understand.
Yeah, I mean, what makes you think this is okay? Like, you leave because you think it's better for me. You tell me this because you think it's better for me. You don't fucking know me anymore.
You're right. I hope that you have a better evening after this.
Yeah, sure.
He picks up his stuff and he leaves.
Cool. How much did that hurt?
That was fucking awful.
Callie, why?
That was
gonna
awful.
go there originally, but then it just, yeah,
Owie.
yeah. He deserves it.
He does. I'll admit that he deserves it. It's so funny because he's like, how do I tell this man that I was told by a god that I needed to talk to him?
All right, is there anything else y'all want to do before we close out the session?
I'm gonna start rolling on the arm.
Cool. Anyone?
You?
No? All right. Then we will end the session. It is nighttime. You all go to sleep. Get some well-needed rest. Or not.
Lee does
Will
not
we
do
be
that.
sleeping or will we be exercising?
Sleeping.
Sleeping in Cullen's tower.
It still doesn't have a roof.
You don't know that. You know that.